Welcome back, episode 6. Do the hard shit first. I want to thank everybody for watching and listening. I appreciate each and every one of you. Buckle up because this is going to be a fun one today. I get fired up about this one. Now, don't forget, we don't charge anything for these. We don't run ads on these, but they're not free to make. So I do ask you do one small favor for us. Share it. Share it on social media. Share it with a friend. Tag us at Kosmo Unfiltered. I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. It will help to pay for Wes.
Very expensive. Very.
He is very, very expensive. So without further ado, let's jump right into this. Doing the hard shit first. This is one I get pumped up about, Wes. You're going to have to back me off.
I can tell you're excited.
I do get fired up. This is going to be a great one. If you haven't listened to the previous one, go back and listen to it. It's all about finances. And the two before that are family and freedom. Absolute must listen tos before you get here because it sets the stage for doing the hard shit first.
That's the 3 legs of the stool.
The 3 legs of the stool. I heard this a long time ago.
Did you hear yourself say this?
No, I did not say this. I think it was Mark Twain. They said, if your job is to eat a frog, I suggest you do it early. And if your job is to eat 2, I suggest you start with the big one first. And believe it or not, when I heard that, I was like, oh my gosh. Like me and Mark Twain are pretty much the same people. That's what I thought.
I'm sorry, I laughed. That was funny.
No. Yeah. Doing the hard shit first. Example of this, I wake up at 5 a.m. now and go work out. Now, and I've been doing this for almost a year now.
Wow.
And my health has gotten much better, my heart health. I told you they found a clog in my heart, and I was like, oh, shit, I better start straightening up.
Yeah.
So I hate working out. I hate going to the gym. So I do it early. I do it
there you go.
Real early. And I remove that, I don't have time. Bullshit. Don't tell me you don't have time. This is me talking to me.
Yeah.
I was like, Cosmo, don't tell me that shit. Don't tell me you don't have time. You do have time. You're just making excuses.
You're probably talking to a lot of people.
I was talking to me mainly. Have you ever done jiu-jitsu?
Never.
You never have?
I did karate back when I was a kid, but it wasn't anything like that.
In jiu-jitsu, my very first sensei, Juan, he would always tell me you can feel a man's soul leave his body. You can feel a man mentally give up. And I didn't ever know what that meant until the first time I felt somebody mentally give up. And it's the craziest thing I've ever experienced because it's so true. And this is why one of the main reasons I live by doing the hard shit first. I do it so much so I load my mornings heavy and my afternoons light. I want to knock out all the shit in the morning. And I even translate that to the week. I want to be heavy on the front of the weeks, light on the latter parts of the weeks. Because I want to do all the hard shit first. I want to get it done, get it over with, get it out of the way, get it off my plate. It takes way too much mental strain on me, so I just want to knock it out, and I want to get it over with. So one of the biggest reasons that this started in my life, because I'm going to be honest with you, I suck at this. Like if you leave me to my own devices and I have no purpose, no calling, I can revert back real quick. The day that I found out that no one gave 2 shits about me. And that was a hard reality for me. And I think it's a hard reality for everybody. Because realistically, no one gives a shit about you the way you give a shit about you. No one does. The world does not give 2 shits if Cosmo continues or gets hit in a bus. I don't know how to get hit in a bus.
I'd hit you in a bus.
You hit me in a bus?
Right across the jaw.
But you see what I'm saying? No one gives 2 shits. And the only way that you can make yourself better is by increasing your standards. I feel like I'm talking to you now. Are you listening to me?
Well, you are talking to me, literally.
I'm not talking to you literally. I'm talking to you. But if you think about it, if you don't increase your standards, meaning, doing, and it may look different, but quit making excuses, raise your standards, expect more from yourself, do more so you can be more. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah. It's symbolic in a sense. It's when you can keep commitments that you make to yourself and you develop that as a new standard for yourself, you look at everything differently.
Yeah.
So it's kind of what you're saying. You start with that in the morning.
Yeah.
And by the time you hit the first other area of your life where maybe you're spoken for, you got a new lease on life.
You ever done a cold plunge?
I have.
Have you ever done?
I've done the cold shower.
Have you ever? You should do a cold plunge at 6 a.m.
Ooh.
And I'm going to tell you right now, believe you me, if you think you have problems in your life, do that at 6 a.m. right when you wake up, and I promise you the rest of your day gets exponentially easier.
So what's that look like? You get up and you run the tub, straight cold.
Straight cold, at least 5 bags ice.
5 bags of
5
ice.
bags ice.
You just got that on hand.
Actually, I don't. I bought bags at off of Amazon, and I'll take them to the church and fill them up.
Oh,
They have like
a giant.
yeah, they have a ice maker.
So it takes some planning.
Room.
So you got
to plan.
I'm doing the cold
Yeah, you
plunge.
have to plan. Yeah, you have to plan.
So this isn't an every morning thing unless you're like Tony Robbins.
If you got Tony Robbins' money, he's actually got a little thing.
It's like in the floor, right?
Yeah, it's in the floor.
He
He jumps his 8-foot ass in this hole in the ground.
He's so big. I've seen video of him going in one. I thought he's never coming out of there.
Have you ever stood next to that man?
He's giant. No, I haven't.
Dude, I have. I'm telling you right now. He's got banana fingers. It's the craziest thing. You know what movie? You know what movie that was off of?
No.
You don't?
Is it Tombstone?
No.
It's always Tombstone.
Shallow Hal.
I think I have seen that. It's been a long time though.
When he gets trapped with him in the elevator.
Yeah. Yeah.
He said, "My gosh, you got banana fingers." But I got to tell you this: if I even take it back further, the mind shift that happened for me is when I moved, and I realized that I have lived my life, my entire life, thinking that I wasn't allowed to have money.
You're talking about when you moved towns, right?
Yeah, when I moved out of El Reno and I moved to Mustang.
So tell people understand the gravity of that.
So I remember I was in my route truck. I was at 7-Eleven, stopped to eat my lunch. I would eat in a 7-Eleven because they usually, I go in there and get a cold water for 99 cents, and then I just sit in the parking lot, eat my lunch. And I remember looking up on my very Samsung Galaxy. Is like the very first one when you could get on the internet. But it was like they had an internet browser come out.
Sure.
And I made $1,000 in 1 week off of our website business. When I say made $1,000, I didn't make $1,000. I did $1,000 in gross revenue. And I sat there and the thought hit my head, I'm not allowed to have this kind of money. And I sat there and I was like, whoa. Who said that?
Sure.
No one put that in. No one told me that. No one ever told me you're not allowed to have money. But I remember going to the golf club in El Reno and looking at like all these rich people, and I thought I'm not allowed to live out here. I'm not, and that was just a story I told myself. But I started telling myself that story at such a young age, it stuck with me my whole life, up until the point that I was sitting in that 7-Eleven parking lot, and I realized, oh my gosh, I was lying to myself. I was telling myself that story. And that's when it hit me that, and just so you know, I wasn't doing the hard shit first then. Not all of it, but I was doing with what I had, with what I knew, that's what I was doing. I'd wake up early. I'd wake up at 5 o'clock, check our orders. At that time, Cosmos was in a hallway closet. and I would check the orders, and I'd print, usually there was like 5 or 6 of them. And I'd print them, and I'd package them up, and then I'd get in my truck, and I'd just drive them down to the post office. First thing. Then I'd come home for lunch, and then I'd see if there's any more, and then I'd come home after work, and I'd, just kept doing that.
Sure.
And that's when I realized that, oh my gosh, I'm putting in the work. I'm doing the work. I'm doing the hard things. I'm the one keeping this going. And I had to clear my head out, and I had to change my perspective and change my mindset. But it was only up to me to increase my standards, to improve my positioning on my life.
Yep.
It was nobody else's. No one gives a shit. No one gives a shit about me now. It's the same way no one gives a shit about you, or no one gives a shit about you. And that's just a simple, hardcore fact. Now, there's people out there that love you, and I really believe that.
They give 2 shits about you.
Yeah, they give 2 shits about you, just not 1 shit.
Yeah.
Which 1 shit is more than 2 shits, at least in Oklahoma. I don't know about anywhere else.
It's backwards.
Yeah. So, with that being said, you got homework. Write down the one thing. It's an easy one. The one thing that you need to quit making excuses about, and you need to start doing now. Take a picture of it. Tag us on social media at Kosmo Unfiltered, because we'd love to get in the comments and chat with you about it. So what are the consequences? What do you think the consequences are, Wes, of not doing it?
The consequences of not doing it.
Yeah, what do you think they are?
Oh, man. I mean,
of not putting in the work. We'll call it putting in the work for you.
I think whatever is hard now, like, let's make it physical. That's an easy one.
Okay.
If you're overeating, if you're not making good decisions for your health, and you're cognizant of that, you know it, but you're doing it anyway, and you don't take steps to change, it's only going to get harder to do the hard thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then the even harder thing is living with the regret of knowing you could have changed it had you just started earlier.
Yeah.
So the hard thing is going to come for you.
It will come eventually.
It's coming for you.
Yeah.
It will become the reality that you can't ignore anymore.
Yeah.
And that could be anything. It could be your finances. I mean, you could get in trouble. You could. Your health, unfortunately, you might. Like I said, I mean, you got a kind of a wake-up call.
The lies you tell yourself will hunt you down.
Yeah.
No, you're right. You're right. I think for me, the consequences of it, and I can say this because I unfortunately used to be one of these people that would just sit down and make excuses about why I don't have the things and how you're just lucky. And golly, man, people like that, boy, I tell you what, they piss me off now. And I used to be that guy, like I was. But what I didn't realize, the only reason I said that to me is because that was the excuse I told myself because I was a lazy piece of shit.
Yeah.
And those people that sit around and just gas each other up, about how they're lucky or they're just, they got it handed to them. Man, I tell you what, I don't even want to be around people like that.
Yeah.
Get them fuckers away from me. Those I can't catch a break guys.
Sure.
Fuck that. I don't even want to be around them. Get them away from me. I don't even want to be around that negativity. Because in the end, it's your mindset. You own it. You live in there. Whoever else you live in there is only living there rent free.
Yeah.
So with that being said, I will tell you this. It's not fun. It's not easy, but it is rewarding. It is extremely rewarding, and you're going to fail. You're going to fall, and that's okay. Pick yourself up, dust yourself off, reload, and re-engage. That's just the facts of the matter. Do it, don't do it. I don't give a shit. But if you want to do it, I'm here for you. I'll help you. I know you've heard this before. But for those of you that haven't, I think you need to hear this. We hold others accountable to our expectations. We hold ourselves accountable to our intentions. That is a vast difference? Why is it okay for me to hold Wes accountable to my expectations when I won't hold myself accountable to my expectations? I know you've heard that before, right?
Oh, yeah. I've heard you say that. It's good.
That's how we are. That's how we are. And it changes when you start holding yourself accountable to your expectations of yourself and not your intentions. Not, I meant to go work out this morning. I don't give a shit about that. You did or you didn't. So, hey, I want to thank everybody for watching and listening. As always, these are free to you, but not free to us. So please share it with somebody. We would greatly, greatly appreciate it. And you're going to want to stick around for the next episode. Your DNA doesn't matter.